Hi everyone, welcome back to another vlog of me walking in the woods. If you're new here, I just talk my thoughts, I get deep and personal about my life, and I think like common things that people go through but just don't talk about. So if you're new here, hello, welcome. We're just on our way to ballet. Just trying to show my daughter the horses. Not been very consistent with this recently because I have had so much on. I've been sick, I've been on, so yeah, I've just like fell off a bit. If you're up to date with what I'm doing, like I'm nearly done with the renovations, almost a little bit done. I've just got like a week to go and then the floor's getting laid and I'm gonna be retiring for a little while so I can focus on me. But I have been really like good mentally recently as well. I really feel like God's been on my side and like things have shifted, like energy has shifted. I can't explain it. When it comes to people and the way they treat me getting some kind of exposure as well on how people really are and like who to cut out of my life. Like I feel like God or the universe has made it so clear on who I should have in my life and who I shouldn't. You know, when you just realise you've grown as a person, when you're around certain people, you just really disagree with what they say. I've become really like, I don't know, certain people I just don't align with them at all, especially if they're judgmental or if they talk from a place of like negativity or like just half, the cup is half empty kind of vibe. And I have this thing where in my life where I don't care how long I've known you, who you are to me, if I feel like your energy is just wrong. I think people just, you know, people that aren't really religious or spiritual, I think they really believe they can get away with saying and doing things, and as long as they smile or do the odd thing that's nice, they seem to think they can get away with it. Whereas if you are spiritual and you are in tune with like your energy and have self-awareness and have like some sort of self-development journey, you'll realise that it doesn't matter what you say, I can see. And you know, when someone even enters your house or your home, you can feel their energy. Like, I can feel your energy immediately. And sometimes I really don't want to believe that person's against me or that person's got a bad energy, but they do, and they show it throughout that day or throughout the weeks, you know what I mean? Like, laying in my head. My shifted energy's really helped. It really has. And everything around me, it's really weird as well. Like, I'll tell you an example. So recently I've been like, I need to get more money because I've got more things. You know, when you do more in your house, you then start thinking of more things you want done. So I'm like, right, I need this amount of money. I got all these job opportunities in my inbox, which I saw like yesterday, and I was so gutted. It was around the time I was like thinking I need more money, and if I just opened my inbox, it was just like a period of time where I had so many opportunities to make money. There was one thing on my Etsy account, I had some orders and I was like, oh, but it was from out of the blue. And honestly, never forget how powerful your mind is and what you think about materializes. It really does. So when I make all these like things to the universe saying, please help me, give me more money, because I have money. Yeah, I just have a limit on how much I want to save. So yeah, everything else I make is what goes towards the house. That's the sort of rule I have for myself. But I just find it so interesting how, I don't know, at the moment I feel like everything's coming to me. That's the energy I have. Everything is coming to me, and it's taken me a while to get to this point, as you probably know. But I feel like because I've cleared the home and I've got everything in order there, which I said I wanted to do, because people will be like, oh, as I say, oh, it doesn't matter the house or whatever. It does matter. Your environment is so important. And when you have clarity at home, like minimalising, like that minimal life, I understand it now. It makes a huge difference on your mind and what you do. So I've gone back to being like excited about the future and what it could be. The only thing I'd say, like, I've got so many tabs open. I think it's because I'm a Gemini and I just have so many things I want to do. So that's why I say, like, one avenue of making money came available and people started messaging me, and then another avenue of making money. But it's weird because I wasn't really focusing on either of them. Like, there was another one that I really wanted to focus on. I am going to focus on, but maybe I should just have them in the background, and like, I don't really work on them, so, and they just happen to make money sometimes, and I think I just have to look at it like that. If you disperse your energy onto many things, it's not completely focused on one thing. And I know a lot of people will be like, well, you shouldn't bank on one thing, but if your energy isn't going into it, you can't expect it to be too successful, because you're not trying your hardest, basically. And I've only got a few hours in the day, especially with my bubba. Another thing I want to talk about was like jealousy. Now, it's hard for me to talk about this because I think, you know, when people say, oh, someone's jealous of you, it makes you sound really big-headed. But, you know, when there's too many coincidences, you've not done anything wrong to that person, you've been nothing but nice and even kind to them and helped them. But anything personal about you, they sort of criticise, but they don't do it. So like, say if I told someone something about me, and then a few hours later or the next day or the next time they see me, they then talk about that but in a bad way and acting like I never said that, or it doesn't even relate to me. I clock them things. I really do. And you need to be careful of people like that. And the thing is, as I said earlier, some people do things and they think they get away with it, but you don't with me. Like, you really don't. I think jealousy is a very common emotion that us humans have. Luckily, I don't tend to have it. If I see someone and they have something like that I would like in the future, like I see it as a good thing, because I think, wow, like I hope I can have that. Like I really don't come from a place of like jealousy at all. I just think one day I can do that as well. That's how I sort of think, and it gives me hope in a way. As like recently there was a YouTuber and she split up with her baby dad, and then like within a year she's engaged. So I think, wow, that's amazing. I was super happy for her. And it makes you think, wow, like men don't care if you're a single mom, men don't care. Not all men anyway, some men do. But yeah, so it sort of, yeah, I try and look on the positive side. I don't ever think, oh, cow, she's moving on so fast. You know what I mean? Like some people would come from that perspective. And I feel like as well, again, you're working with energy and you're working with God. People that claim to be godly but yet don't help you, that just have this judgment. What people don't realise is when you, no matter what you say, like, you know, when people say calling someone ugly don't make you any prettier and things like that, like no matter what you say or what you think or what you try to jeopardise, it will always come back to you. If you're coming from a place of hatred or jealousy, they're all negative emotions. That is never ever going to be a good thing in your life. That's never going to benefit you in any way, shape or form. Like if anyone asks me how I deal with it, I don't. I let God deal with it, or I let the universe deal with it, because as I say, when you harbour such negativity, you're never going to result in a positive life. That's facts. Like, I believe in karma, and karma doesn't have to happen from you. Like, it happens just from, if you're doing that with me, what else are you doing in your life with other people? Or what else are you doing in your life to yourself even? Like, do you hate yourself? Like, do you look after yourself? Are you doing the most for yourself? Because if you did, you wouldn't be worried, and you wouldn't feel like I couldn't obtain that myself, because you'd be working on it yourself. Whenever I talk, I always think, do people understand what I'm saying? I'm just going really, as I say, these videos are just me going really deep into my thoughts. Like before, I used to take it personally. I used to feel like I had to say something. I don't say nothing anymore. I just sit back, listen. I have people in my life I can talk to that are level-headed, that think like me. I can talk to them, vent to them, and obviously they clarify that I'm not crazy. And yeah, what I'm thinking, they say the same thing that I say. So I think that's growth, because before I'd always feel like I needed to show that I'm not an idiot and you can't do that to me sort of thing. But yeah, I don't think like that anymore, because I don't care. I think partly of having a child as well, it makes you not care about things you used to care about, because they are your world. Like there's no love that can compare to them. And obviously people have their reasoning why they do them things, and I try and be understanding and what they've been through, and just take that into account as well, because obviously, I mean, I've been through things too. Not everyone deals with things the same way or in a positive way. So I briefly said, oh, I'm starting to have more good things come to me, and I think that's based on my energy, because it's changed now. I'm much more calmer, and just literally easy flowing. I know good things are going to come to me. I'm not worried about anything. And I think it's because I've been productive, as I said before in other videos. Like, I feel like when I'm productive, naturally I just feel better, and then when you feel better, more good things come to you. So there's an element of that, but I've also been like self-reflecting on things that obviously have happened to me for the last few years, and I've really tried not to blame people for anything. I don't want to blame myself either. I was thinking like, why me? Why, you know what I mean? Like, I've been through enough, sort of thing. And I feel like after the thing with my dad, my stepdad, I feel like I should have gone to therapy or something after that, because I've noticed the relationships I had after that were the toxic ones. The ones when my mum was here, they weren't that toxic. I'll be real with you. They're pretty normal. Hardly ever argued with them. Yeah, there was nothing crazy going on at all. I remember I dated this narcissist after my mum passing, when I moved into my flat. I'm so happy I had like good people around me then, and I was away a lot for work. I was super busy, and the guy sort of like discarded me anyway because he was a narcissist. But there were so many bad red flags in that situation, and the normal me wouldn't ever tolerate that, like, ever. And you know, when you just look at yourself and think, why did I tolerate that for as long as I did? And then obviously another, like, there's been, I mean, I've had a few normal guys, don't get it twisted. The ones I spent more time with happen to be narcissistic or narcissistic traits. I know people get sick of naming people narcissists now, but there's a lot of familiarities in the way my stepdad treated me, like the discarding, the hate campaign, the way he spoke to me compared to the way he was with other people, very charming. All these like traits which I haven't really spoken about before, but I feel like that affected me, because you know, when you just sit there and really think about things, I feel like that may have affected me, because ever since that time I've attracted people like that. Before I never did. So I just find everything very interesting. I always like try and look into myself. I give myself therapy most of the time. All these events in your life really do affect you. Like, they really do. And like, I mean, before I used to keep my peace, especially after my mum passed away, of who I allowed into my life. Like, now it's even more like, I honestly don't know if I'll ever be with anyone again, or I don't know. I feel like for me to allow people into my life now, I've got to feel your energy is completely right, and I'm not going to be like, oh, maybe I'm anxious. That's what I used to say before. Maybe I've got anxiety. Perhaps that's what it is. No. I trust myself. I've never been wrong, ever. If I'm ever ready to date again, it's going to be a completely different story. In a way, it's bad because it's made me raise my barrier even higher. But I have a baby, so she comes first, above me, above anyone. I just have heard so many horror stories of women letting a man into their lives with a child, and then they end up being abusive. Like, that, I'd say that can never be me, but yeah, not if you don't date anyone, it won't be. But yeah, no, jokes aside, another thing, like, I wish I did, which I didn't do, because I wanted to be more private this time. I'm going to tell my family and friends what's going on in my relationship, and I know that's not always good, but if there's anything that I think may be a bit off, I'm going to say it. I'm not just going to keep it to myself, because I did that and that didn't get me anywhere. If I just spoke to my friends or even my aunts or anyone, I think they would have just been frank and said, yeah, that isn't normal. But thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope this helped in some way. I'll speak to you soon this time. See you.